Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Checks and Balances TV. Today's program is entitled, Is Your Financial Advisor Really Working for You or Themselves? So let's see how today's news may impact your financial future. Financial advisors many times work against the best interest of their clients if it means they can earn more in fees, according to a recent study conducted by the National Bureau of Economic Research. The study concluded that fee-based advisors often encourage return-chasing behavior and push for actively managed funds that have higher fees, even if the client started out with a well-diversified, lower-fee portfolio. Okay, so what's really going on here? Let's check the facts using our checks and balances process. The premise of the Market for Financial Advice Audit Study was that while individual investors may be bad at choosing investments on their own, a number of things influence their decisions, including consulting with a financial advisor. The study assumed that nearly 3/4 of retail investors consult an advisor before purchasing a financial product, and it questioned whether or not the advice received was actually good advice. In this study, nearly 300 financial advisors were visited by auditors, disguised as prospective clients. The advisors targeted for the study were considered fee-based advisors whom the average individual can access through their bank, independent brokerage house, or an investment advisory firm. According to the study, these advisors were selected because they typically are paid based on the fees they generate on investments, rather than assets under management or from the performance of the client's portfolio. The advisors were presented with one of 4 different investment holdings from an auditor who presented it as their investment portfolio. The auditor asked for the investment advice on how the advisor would invest their retirement savings outside of their 401k plan. And in nearly half of the visits, the advisor recommended investing in actively managed funds, which typically charge clients a higher fee. Even if a client already had a well-diversified index funds portfolio, the advisor still encouraged them to invest in actively managed funds. And in most cases, that recommendation would have performed worse than if they had left their allocation the way it was. And when advisors discussed fees, they did so in a way that downplayed the cost to the prospective client without lying to them. For example, they would often use a sales approach like, "This fund has a 2% fee, but that's not much above industry standards or the industry average." Another notable trend discovered that during this study was that advisors would often praise the client's prior investment choices, no matter where they had invested their money in. But they had no problem discouraging clients from investing more into that same strategy, as the advisor wanted to now reallocate that money into a fund that may very well pay them more in fees. Okay, so now that we've checked the facts, let's balance this news using our checks and balances process to determine what action you should take today. This important study focused on a small sample of retail advisors who, according to the survey, typically cater to the lower end of the wealth spectrum. These fee-based investment advisors typically are paid a commission based on the fees and volume they generate for their firm. And only a small portion of the advisors are truly independent, who would be paid based on assets under management. The study's conclusion suggests that because these advisors earn their income from generating fees, they may be more likely to trigger unnecessary fee-generating transactions. However, the term fee-based is widely used and can mean many different things. And it's important to note that this study was only conducted with 284 advisors, and its findings cannot be used to pass judgment on all fee-based advisors. All financial professionals are compensated in one form or another, and understanding how they're paid will help you to understand their advising style and what it means to you and your potential investment returns. Now, fee-only advisors typically charge a fee based on your account value. Their fee is normally charged as a percentage of the assets they manage for you. These advisors are more likely to use low-cost funds in your account, minimizing the overall expenses you'll end up paying. As your account value grows, they could potentially make more money. But if your account value goes down, they would make less money, giving them an incentive to offer you the very best advice possible. Now, another type of compensation is commission-based, and it can range from recurring annual fees to a one-time commission on financial products, such as load-carrying mutual funds, hedge funds, REITs, or private investments, or as a percentage of the transaction amount for an insurance product. Many advisors today collect both fees and commissions and use the term fee-based to describe their overall compensation structure. These advisors can receive fees paid by you as well as commissions paid to them by a brokerage firm, mutual fund company, insurance company, or investment partnership, which in essence means an advisor could technically sell you a commission-based financial product and then charge you a fee to manage that product if you're not careful. Okay, so what's the bottom line here? When it comes to working with any financial advisor, it's important to know how to read between the lines. There are plenty of good people who are financial advisors today, who unfortunately have been taught that their particular product or strategy is the best one for every client, and that doesn't mean it's true. Advisors at some of the largest institutions today have been taught that their products are superior to all others. Then they are given sales quotas to meet every single week and month, and they meet those sales quotas with investors like you. So you must remain a skeptic when it comes to where your money is invested. Not all financial advisors have your best interest at heart, even if they think they do. This is why I recommend that you review our free report, The 3 Pillars of the Checks and Balances Life. The first one is that everyone is biased, even if they don't mean to be. So don't accept everything you hear as absolute truth. The second pillar is that there are 2 sides to every coin. All investments have an upside and a downside. And the third pillar is that you have a responsibility to investigate the facts for yourself and make what I call a checks and balances financial decision. By implementing these 3 strategies, you can make sure that your financial advisor is truly working for you and not in their own best interest. And now for Matt's weekly financial tip, tool, or technique. There are many ways you can find out if your financial advisor is really working for you or themselves. But you are the one who needs to be proactive and determine whether or not he or she is actually looking out for your best interests. This can be done through research and by simply asking your advisor the right questions. So here are 3 things that you can do to protect yourself from a self-serving advisor. Number 1 is go to FINRA, which is FINRA.org, and SEC.gov to see if regulatory actions have been taken against your advisor and whether he or she is registered with your state securities department, which is NASAA.org, and find out if there is a history of complaints. If the advisor sells insurance products, including fixed annuities, check with your state's insurance department. Number 2 is make sure you completely understand any recommended investment product and how it fits into your investment strategy. Ask the advisor to put in writing why they think any investment is suitable for you and the total annual cost it will be that you'll have to pay every year to own that particular investment. Now, if the advisor refuses to do any of this, go ahead and walk away. And number 3 is look for warning signs, such as a long and confusing product prospectus or pressure from the advisor to sign the paperwork now. If anything seems unreasonable or you feel hurried to make a decision, it's probably not in your best interest to move ahead at that time. And by the way, put little faith in references as well, as even the worst advisor can find 3 people who like them. Take the time to get to know your advisor and their investment recommendations. By doing so, you'll be more confident that your financial advisor is looking out for your financial future rather than how much money they can make on your money. Be sure to log on to our website and download our featured report, The 3 Pillars of the Checks and Balances Life, a free guide for truth and accountability in today's challenging financial world. And finally, remember that only you can control your financial future. You can succeed. You just need confidence and determination. I'm Matthew J. Reddick from Checks and Balances TV. Until next time, dump debt, invest wisely, believe in yourself, and make it happen.